Welcome to Ask a Lawyer. Mark, let's talk about uninsured motorists today. That's a problem.
It's a topic that comes up all the time, and we did a segment many months back, just some basic information about uninsured motorist coverage. And we got some emails about some folks that wanted more information about it because they really weren't sure if they had the type of coverage that they needed. And since that time, we've been approached by a number of clients who were in crashes not caused by themselves, two of whom were hit by drunk drivers, and the drunk driver had no insurance, and these folks had rejected unknowingly their uninsured motorist coverage. So they had no insurance that they could turn to other than their PIP benefits, which is only $10,000, to help them with tens of thousands of dollars of medical bills.
So to buy coverage to insure you against an uninsured motorist. Exactly, and people tend to skip it, is that what you're saying?
It's exactly what you're doing. There's no requirement in Florida that you have a policy of insurance that pays me if you cause a crash and hurts me. You're only required to have $10,000 in PIP benefits that pays for your medical bills and lost wages, and $10,000 in property damage coverage that covers up to $10,000 of property that you damage from your negligence. So if you cause a crash and hurt me and you have no bodily injury coverage and I don't have any coverage for myself to protect myself, then I'm out of luck. So uninsured motorist is me buying coverage to protect me from folks like you that don't carry any bodily injury coverage or don't carry enough.
And so what does that cost? Does that cost a lot more than your regular policy, although it sounds like it would be worth just about?
It is worth it. It absolutely is worth it. The largest expense typically on insurance policies are your PIP benefits. Your no-fault benefits are typically the largest expense. Next comes bodily injury coverage and followed by uninsured motorist coverage. So on the whole, the UM is probably one of the least expensive coverages that you can buy. And when you buy it, you should ask your agent to make sure that you have all that you're legally entitled to have. For example, if you buy a bodily injury policy for $50,000 per accident, $50,000 per person, $100,000 per accident, that means your policy will pay up to $50,000 to one person for injuries that you cause, or up to $100,000 if you hurt more than one person in one accident. So when you buy that kind of policy, you want to tell your agent, I want the same amount of uninsured motorist coverage. I want $50,000 per person, $100,000 for my entire car, for me and whoever's riding with me. But the added benefit with uninsured motorist coverage is you get to multiply that $50,000, $100,000 times the number of motor vehicles you own. So typically what happens is folks are asked to or do reject completely uninsured motorist coverage on their policy to save a little bit of money off their premium, or they elect non-stacked coverage, which means you don't get to multiply your coverage amount by the number of cars that you own.
I think probably when somebody reads that, they think uninsured motorist, well, that's somebody else.
Well,
you know,
I don't.
But I mean, you're looking out for yourself.
That's right. It's the uninsured other driver who is uninsured or doesn't carry enough insurance to cover all of the damages that they cause to you. So you're actually buying coverage to protect yourself from folks riding around on the highway that don't have any insurance coverage or don't have enough.
So do people come to you and say, Mark, would you look over my policy, see if it's got everything that it needs to have? Because I mean, it's difficult if you don't know what you're looking at, and it's too late when you find out you've missed something.
They do. They come in to see us, and they've been involved in a very serious crash, and we see them here or in some other setting, maybe in their home, and they haven't been able to get back to work yet. And I'll ask them, what kind of insurance coverage do you have? How much? And I hear an awful lot. People say, well, I have full coverage. Full coverage means nothing. Full coverage to one person might mean, well, I have PIP and property damage. But if you're hit by a drunk driver, if you're hit by an uninsured driver that doesn't have any coverage or doesn't have enough, full coverage means nothing. You don't have any uninsured motorist coverage to protect yourself as a result of that other driver who hurt you and doesn't have any insurance.
Thank you, Mark.
You're welcome.
And we'll be right back.